The plan seemed simple. Fly into RAF Yatesbury, the UK's oldest abandoned airfield, and explore what's left. Little did we know that with darkness closing in, we'd end up stranded. We'd heard rumours of an abandoned airfield, dating back to World War I. Little known about and hard to access, we knew the best way in was to arrive by air. RAF Yatesbury, once a thriving airfield, training pilots through both world wars. It now sits abandoned, a shadow of its former self, being slowly taken back by nature.
My Scout paramotor isn't actually the first Scout to arrive here. In 1916, when the Royal Flying Corps arrived here, they brought with them a Scout Model D. It was Britain's first attempt at a pursuit plane. It was a single-seat biplane that could travel over 100 miles an hour. The Model D was the first aircraft in Britain that was fitted with a synchronised gun that could fire through a propeller blade. That's pretty cool. In 1998, a Moroccan property developer bought the site. He had plans to turn this into a set of houses for families. It would have actually doubled the size of the community here. He spent a huge amount of money redoing the roof, putting in new ceilings to try and prevent water from getting in. But you can see just a few years later, the water is back. There are holes everywhere, the floors are caving in, and the buildings are effectively condemned. It would cost a huge amount of money now to redo everything. The project stopped in 2008 when RBS pulled the funding due to the recession. And now, it's just left in limbo, slowly rotting and getting taken back by nature. Wouldn't walk on that floor.
As you can see, this is part of that redevelopment, I guess. You can see this wood hasn't been here since 1916, and these supports. It's sad, isn't it? Seeing it nearly get a new lease of life, and then back to nature taking its course. I reckon this is where the ablutions used to be now.
What's ablutions?
Army for toilets. Either that, so there's the officers' mess toilets, or sinks, the kitchens maybe. Your guess to this band, do you think this was?
No idea. Maybe a boiler room? Looks like this might have been a chimney or something.
There's a chimney there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like there might be a boiler fitted here. This looks like the ceiling in the other rooms. This must be one of the only rooms that's still reasonably dry. There's so many buildings here. See, over there, that would have been the accommodation block. You've got the officers' mess here. Over the back there, there's like an engine room where they'd repair generators. Of how my duct tape repair was held out, crawling through the brambles.
I noticed feathers just flying around whenever I'm following you.
Might be the air raid shelter. Shelter.
Dude,
I wonder if we can get anything to the side.
I think if you drop down there, mate, you're going to struggle to climb out.
No, I think the entrance is over there. This is just a bin. We're being really quiet because there's like a house. This is really loud. Okay, let's see this entrance. Can you imagine being in this place and hearing the air raid sirens go off and then just running from your bedroom in the middle of the night into one of these things? It'd been cold, icy in the winter, it might have been tipping with rain. And you go in here not knowing how long you were going to be down here for. If there were bombs landing around you, obviously it's an airfield, it would have been a prime target. I think that's a number, like number 1. So I'm guessing you were maybe assigned. I think how many people are here, you were probably assigned one, weren't you? Cramp, claustrophobic.
That's incredible.
I'm not going to disturb any of that. No, come on. Just spiders now.
Key personalities that attended RAF Yatesbury include Guy Gibson, the leader of the infamous Dambusters raid. Now, I'm a massive fan of the Dambusters. I've watched all the documentaries, movies, all of it. And to think that he was once here sort of like sends a chill down my spine a little bit. It really is incredible.
Didn't he only have like 60 days to train 21 blokes to fly an aircraft that just wasn't meant to do that job above the treetops?
I feel a bit like, because it's so imprinted to everyone in history, that we just got, the Dambusters, the Bantam bomb, and we forget how incredible that was.
What was actually achieved there.
The training that went into it. This building, Ben, these are the flight offices. So I imagine he would have spent quite a little bit of time in here.
Yeah.
Quite a little bit of time? That didn't make sense, you know what I mean?
An incredible corridor. We're obviously walking here on the foundations. You can see where the old floor would have been. It's just rotted away. Been removed.
Yeah, I didn't realise we're down a little bit from where the level would have been. Would have been here, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Just being totally reclaimed by nature.
Mate, there's a tree growing in this room here.
Can you imagine, like, being in World War II in one of these offices when it would all be nicely decorated and then just having this vision of a tree poking through your office? It'd be so surreal.
Genuinely, I was going to say that. I was going to say, imagine sitting in your room at home thinking, one day a tree will grow in it.
Yeah.
At some point this house will become derelict in the future.
So this would have been the this would have been the accommodation block. And this building is pretty much condemned there. That you can see the floor has fallen in. Oh yes, it's a wardrobe.
Is it?
Yeah, it's still open.
Oh, imagine if there were like clothes in there.
I know. Can you think that wardrobe was effectively open for the last time because you can't get up there to close it now? Come and have a look at this. This is completely and utterly screwed. For anyone that's seen like some of the urban exploring videos in America where you have these really old buildings that are perfectly preserved, this is what happens in the UK when you get a bit of rain.
It is, isn't it?
It just absolutely decimates everything.
The thing is, it rains all the time in the UK, doesn't it?
Yeah, but unless buildings are upkept as well, it's just insane how quickly things will go like this.
I've got some bad news, Ben. I'm feeling wet stuff on my face, which means that we're not taking off.
It's raining.
Should we just sleep in here tonight? Take off in the morning.
It's not a bad idea.
We have no food.
I've got some lemon Fanta. But that is it. As you can probably see, me and Paul aren't taking off again today. It wasn't forecast to snow, but it's changed on us now. It's due to get worse. And when it's snowing, the wing just fills up with snow. There are holes at the front of it. So we'll be looking at getting a taxi back and then recovering ourselves. We didn't bring sleeping bags. We're going to carry on exploring though. This is the officer's mess.
You can tell the officer's mess. It's always the most elaborate building in camp.
It's one of the leakier rooms of the site. So we've had to put everything in places where it's not going to get soaking wet. I don't know why, but a lot of this building's been blocked up already. I'm assuming where they were trying to develop this into properties, they were already starting to separate up the rooms. See, continue with the ornate theme. We've got these bay windows on the side of the officer's mess. You think when this was purchased, it would have laid empty for what, 40 years? Just under 40 years. What an incredible undertaking. There's so much work here that needs to be done. And brick that was once structurally sound has just now got things growing through it. It's not as if you can reuse the old switches and plug sockets. Incredible though, isn't it? The plastic is one of the few things that actually remains. There was clearly a huge amount of effort to restore this place before they closed it down. You can see here, they've already started to put a new breeze block in. They've created a doorway there. Now I'm not sure about this, but on top of the officer's mess, there's this little box. It's reasonably large.
From old photographs, that seems to be the control tower.
I think so, yeah. It would have been an ideal vantage point.
Remember as well, back in First World War era, the control tower wouldn't have been a huge looming tower, would it?
No.
This airfield's actually one of the oldest ones in Europe, Ben, you know that?
Yeah.
So it's the oldest one, I think, don't hold me to this, is Uphaven, where I worked for a little bit.
Yeah.
And you can tell some of the structures in that airfield, even though it's still used today, are very similar to this.
I think Uphaven was either 1912 or 1914.
Yeah.
This is 1916. So this is obviously seen World War One, World War Two, and then it was finally used in the Cold War for radio and wireless training. Closed in 1965.
Ben, I found a Banksy, a genuine Banksy.
Are you serious?
Yeah. For those viewers who don't know, hold it, I want to surprise you with it. For those viewers who don't know, Banksy is a famous British graffiti artist, and he leaves graffiti in different random places around the country, and they really are phenomenal pieces of work. Come look at this.
Doesn't smell right. Oh wow.
That is definitely a Banksy. Look at it. Look at the way he's subtle strokes of the spray can and, you know, boobs around. So why wouldn't you make him just round?
I can see the subtle strokes, mate.
Yeah, look at that. What's dripping out of him? And look at this. He's excited. Or she's excited. I'm confused. Maybe Banksy was trying to suggest equality, diversity. You know, she's got breasts, but also a shaft. A very strange face. Incredible.
You need to be stopped. Someone needs to stop you. For God's sake. Let's go and have a look at the hangar. Well, I was not expecting it to snow this today. Not after that weather this morning. This insanely impressive building is the last remaining hangar at the site. A few years back they spent £800,000 repairing the roof. That would have once held aircraft like the Tiger Moth, the world's most famous training aircraft.
There's no doubt about it, they were an absolutely first-class trainer because they were strong, they were reliable, and they were not exactly flattering. In other words, to fly one of these you had to be good if you were going to fly it accurately. Consequently, it turned out an absolutely first-class pilot.
After 1940, when Dunkirk was evacuated, almost any anti-invasion tactic was considered. The Tiger Moth was fitted with light bomb racks that could be used as a small bomber. One of my favourite ideas they had for it is something called the paraslasher. They fixed a scathe-like blade to the aircraft so that it could cut through parachutists' canopies as they were being deployed from aircraft. It was never used, and it's probably a good job because me and Paul are flying in here today.
Oh, there's
Still a cool idea.
There's none still around, is there, mate?
Well, I hope not. So obviously we came here with 3 objectives, right?
Yeah.
Fly in, explore, take off. Very simple. We've done 2 of those things, but the weather's failed us and we're now stuck here without a way to fly back. Snow's coming down and it's not going to stop.
We did check the forecast yesterday. It was supposed to be clear skies all day. The forecast changed as we landed to snow, and that leads us to...
For those of you that don't live in the UK, this is what it's like. You obviously seen this morning, we had these beautiful blue skies, gorgeous lighting, lovely sunrise, and now it's miserable all in the same day. It's just incredible. So what would have been a 20-minute flight back is now going to be easily a 2-hour mission involving a taxi, a van, and lugging our gear about a mile down the track. We failed a mission, but it's still been amazing, hasn't it, to look at this place.
I don't think we have failed. I think this is all part of the paramotor adventure.
Yeah.
So it's a win in my book.
I think so.
Then I'll leave you hanging, mate.
So Paul's called a taxi now, and it's about half a mile walk, would you say?
Yeah.
To where the taxi's picking us up.
If that.
Yeah. The problem we've got is that
this is like mud underneath. It's snowing now, and we're not going to get my 3.5 ton camper down this track, so we're going to have to do a couple of miles worth of walking with the equipment in different runs, aren't we? Okay, so our taxi's just driven past us, so Paul's running after him. There he is.
Right, so Ben has gone back in the taxi to Marlborough, which is the next town down from here. It's about half an hour-ish. Yeah, so he's going to get his van. He's going to come back. Because he's in a big heavy van, he can't get to the decent access tracks that are around here. So we're going to have to hike our gear a good few miles, and I'm really not looking forward to that.
Super duper.
Okay.
Thank you, pal.
Excellent. Have a
Brilliant.
safe journey home.
Cheers. Have a good one.
Cheers, buddy.
Alright, let's go and rescue my mate.
Right then, so Ben's just called. He's nearly here. He's going to risk it and come up the track in the van. It's a bit heavy and it is a bit icy, but we decided it's better than hiking all our equipment. It's like 3 miles.
Okay, so we're here. Van got down here alright, but where I was hoping to turn around is an extremely muddy bog, and I definitely will get stuck in that. So my options are continue down the unknown track into the village, or reverse back about a mile, which I think is going to be the option. I'll have to reverse back, so hopefully we can get everything loaded before it gets dark. So we're back together again, bring the camera gear back, and then we'll go and get the motors in a minute. It's a fair old walk though, isn't it? Definitely easier flying in.
I was just saying before, mate, you've saved us about 3 miles worth of hiking around. Only one more obstacle stands in our way, an electric fence and a barbed wire fence, and then we're home free. I'm going to risk it, Ben. Wait, I've got fuel on my back, haven't I?
Yeah.
Wait.
Lick it.
I'm
Lick it instead. It can't travel through your tongue.
Ah, it's dead.
Oh my god, this is heavy. Help me, dude. It's so dark now. I'm just going back to do one last sweep. Make sure we've got everything. I think Paul was too scared. Yeah. Ah, rubbish. That's ours. Leave no trace. Right. We are recovered. Now all we've got to do is reverse a mile up an icy track in a 3.5 ton vehicle. Standard Sky Rascal activity here, reversing a mile down the track.